music no one can ever refuse it. Pulsating, vibrating, reggae, reggae, reggae. Very sky, rock, steady, mental, a quadrillion, a cool.
So good morning to the listeners and viewers of the Real Stuff podcast. Today is Wednesday, and we have a featured guest. Her name is Beth Roberts, and she's a financial expert. And she'll be talking to us about finances, especially in the U.S. So, and with us also is Flavius, our co-host. So, Flavius.
Morning, yeah, I'm here, yeah, man.
A few words, and let's get going.
Well, I was reading your information last night, and sounds very impressive. So, I think our viewers and listeners are in for a treat.
Thank you.
This is information that the ordinary person don't know about, which is so sad, So I'm hoping that you can enlighten us today. Get us in the fast lane.
Yeah, in the fast lane. We need it. We need it right now.
Badly. Yes, we do.
I agree. Well, before getting started, I would like to thank you both for extending the invitation. I appreciate your time and sharing your platform, but more importantly, opening the door to allow me to just share information.
Yeah, we need it. Yeah, we need it badly.
Yes. And part of the reason that we are in this situation here in the U.S., and I would imagine around the world, is that we perish for the lack of financial knowledge.
Oh, yes.
We have ability, we have skills, we have talents. I've done some pretty amazing things in my life in the criminal justice system, working as a program manager for the jails, a developer of programs. And my work was featured on National Geographic. They've done documentaries, followed the clients around that I served. Domestic violence, substance abuse, street level prostitution, regardless of what they were in there for, the underlying factors that everyone had was the lack of financial knowledge or discipline.
Yes.
It's funny in the US that you can have a degree in finance, but you cannot help position someone to save or grow money. You prepare people for a job. And in my world, we call a job a journey of being broke because, especially here in America, you can work all of your life and retire just to go get a job to survive. Make that make sense. What are we missing? Well, I found that out 3 years ago when I was approached to get a license in finance. And on that side of finance, when I learned that the world of finance is very vast, there's many, many, many layers. One of those layers is life insurance, but more importantly, cash value life insurance. So I got licensed. And when I got licensed, what made me gravitate to it was the alarming disparities that our community is plagued with. We have 3 critical places in finance where we have issues. Number 1, we have a debt and a savings crisis. Number 2, we have banking and wealth inequality. And then finally, we have inflation and cost of living, right? And that's affecting all of us. So when we look at a debt and saving crisis, 78% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. This includes high. Don't think that just because people are making more money that they are not struggling, because they are. The average credit card debt per household is $7,000 with interest rates hitting record highs. 60% of Americans can't even cover a $1,000 emergency. What if somebody passes away then? And if that's the case, and that person who passes away is the bread earner and the family only solely depends on them, what happens to that family? Usually homelessness, people are struggling, trying to get donations just to put their loved ones in the ground. What are they missing? The U.S. household debt reached $17.5 trillion in 2024, with mortgage, auto, and student loan debts piling up. And then 1 in 3 Americans, they have $0 saved left for retirement. What does this mean? Eventually, we're going to get old, and then what's going to happen? Who's going to take care of us?
Yeah, I must point out to you also that this is a Caribbean podcast, you see, and but we do have quite a lot of Caribbean people that lives in the U.S. also.
They need this. And you know what? I know Caribbean people in the U.S. are paying taxes out of every aspect imaginable. Wherever their income,
Yes.
they're paying it to taxes. They need this information. What does this mean? Here in America, the top 10% of Americans hold 70% of the country's wealth. That's our corporations and our banks. 50%, the bottom, share just 2.5%. That's everybody else. Banks make billions from fees and interest and pay nothing in the savings accounts. Here's the thing. When we put our money in the savings accounts, what we're doing is we're lending our money to the bank so the bank can make billions and trillions lending it out in credit cards, mortgages, auto loans, student loans. And guess what? Now we're paying interest on the money we lent them while they're earning trillions on interest, lending to everyone else. So here's the other thing about banks, what they do and what they know. Life insurance, for instance, is a $1 trillion asset class. This is the ones that banks use most, meaning banks put their money here more than anything. And then why? Because they get capital gains. They put this life insurance policy and leverage with their banking technology that turns their life insurance policy into a banking institution that will allow you to put money into your policy that's compounding interest. And because it's attached to banking technology, you lend that money back out to yourself to pay your bills. Why? Because it pays you handsomely. Why? Because you own a bank. You're lending your money to yourself at an interest rate that's compounding. The goal here is to bank like banks. Leverage cash value life insurance, which is your tax haven. It is your tax-free retirement account for 2 reasons. Number 1, you're owning a bank, right? Now you loan a lending institution. When you lend to yourself or when you're borrowing, that's a loan. Loans cannot be taxed. So this policy is going to allow you to spend all your money tax-free for the rest of your life. What does this mean? Because you have banking technology. Banking technology, its job is twofold. Number 1, it must move money. It finds money to move money to make money. So it'll look at all your debts and it'll say, Courtney, I want you to borrow $500 out of your out of your policy and deposit and go pay off your car note. You're going to earn more interest from lending from the bank side while paying down your debt. You're spending free money and you're earning free money. You're always spending for the rest of your life. Your insurance premium becomes a deposit into your bank and you borrow it back. Your technology will guide you step by step and tell you in every way where to lend, where to move, what to pay, when to pay. It'll say, hey, I need more money. We need to make money. Courtney, go borrow $2,000 and do whatever you want to do. Just go spend it. Don't worry about it because we're about to double this money up on 14% on the dollar on average since it's been for the past 20 years. And again, it's compounding. That's what banks do with a $1 trillion asset class called the cash value life insurance, otherwise known as an IUL. Now, up until 4 years ago, only banks and corporations could take advantage of this. What changed the game was the CARES Act. In America, 4 years ago, Americans were given stimulus checks. President Trump came along and he upped the amount of the stimulus checks. Most Americans only know about the stimulus checks, but what they do not know is what the CARES Act did was it put the power of banking like a bank into the hands of the people. And furthermore, there's one insurance company that allowed the founder of Banking Like a Bank, David Weiner, along with other banking partners and people in the insurance agency that's been there for like 20 years or more, they built a structured a policy specifically designed for banking. Up until this point, 99% of the insurance companies function the same way. Insurance companies, number one thing is they don't like losing money. We see what happened in California. A lot of those closed those policies 6 months before the fire started. So, keeping that in mind, most insurance policies are built in with fees so that the insurance company will double their money, which is the cost of insurance, which is whatever your death benefit is. So if you got a $500,000 policy, regardless of whatever you're paying monthly into it, the insurance company is going to double a profit. And the way they're going to do that is they're going to tack on fees all throughout that policy. They're going to get their money. But see, agents aren't going to tell people about those fees. So what they developed here on our side, on the banking side, is a policy that's solely transparent. We show you the fees and we show you exactly when the insurance company is going to finally make a profit on your money. Because all throughout your life, from the time that you have this banking policy, not it's up in the top 10%. Banks, top 10% of Americans hold 70% of the country's wealth. Now we have a shift because we can have that same power to bank like banks, protect our wealth, build a financial legacy as individuals, as families, as households, but then more importantly, as a community. Here in America, people of color make up we have the most spending power. If we have the most spending power, that means we got the bulk of the money. We just don't know what to do with it. And it's okay to spend. You just have to know how to spend so that every time you do, it pays you. And in a way that you are not going to be charged all those taxes because you have the protection. Number one, again, loans cannot be taxed. So you're protected from the IRS, from your lending and spending. Number two, death benefits can't be taxed. So as your wealth is accumulating, it's accumulating in your death benefits. So guess what? By the IRS law, then the IRS says you can't touch death benefits. So that's how banks grow tax-free money using the money you lend, the money that you deposit with them. Now, if you own your own bank, changes the game. You're going to cut out the middleman. These policies can be structured that you can deposit your whole paycheck in your bank and then start banking out of your policy. Bank with yourself. And then you'll be able to stay ahead of the cost of living. Now, there's a pain point here with this, like with anyone who wants to get one of these policies or more information, if you are here in the US, that is that for the first 12 months of depositing into your policy, it is your money. You can borrow against it if you want, but we ask you not to because number one, we want to avoid anti-money laundering laws. And number two, we want that first year, you have to in that first year build up, according to bank law, a capital reserve. And your capital reserve, you would contribute monthly into your policy based on how your policy is framed and how much your premium is. And then the way we structure those monthly premiums is the lowest amount possible to keep the policy alive. Because remember, we don't want the insurance company to get all the money. We want your cost of insurance low. That's not what we're really focused on. What we're focused on the banking. How are we going to eliminate your debt? Because again, that's what the technology is also designed to do. It finds money to make money, but also to eliminate debt in the process. And so what does eliminating debt look like? It looks like eliminating debt looks like you have a 30-year mortgage, right? 300 and some payments. We can cut that mortgage down to between 5 and 7.5 years. Cut 300 and some payments over 30 years down to like 97 payments. And not only are we saving the client all that interest, and when you think about it, the average mortgage, if you get a $200,000 mortgage, by the end of it, with all the interest charges and rates, you're going to pay like $500,000-$600,000 for your property. Make it make sense. The only way that works is if you're banking like a bank and you're earning from all of your lending and spending. This is why I'm here. My job is to share the knowledge and help get this power. Why? This is only 4 years old. Most insurance agents don't know this. More importantly, we don't even have the representation in our communities. The learning curve is so broad that currently we have over 500 people who have over $500,000 or more, and they want our services, and we can't service them because there aren't enough of us. We need the representation. And if we're going to have reparations in this country, it's not going to come through war and battle. We've seen that wars come and go, and all we get is bloodshed and more of the same repeating cycles. If we're going to change things, we got to buy them out. If we buy them out, we have to be in a mindset to know how money works and make money work for us. And then come up together as a collective. Imagine, as we start more and more understanding money and we grow as a family, look at how we're going to change our communities on a global level. Because we'll have the power. We already have the purchasing power, but if we have that financial knowledge, then we can select the curriculum from our schools, and we can raise our boys to be boys and our girls to be girls without government interference and flooding our children with education that they do not need and contradicts our very core of our being. I think I diverted a little bit from the pain points. We asked you to contribute for 12 months into your policy bank, and on month 13 and every month and every deposit for the rest of your life, whatever you deposit in, you're going to spend paying down debt. You're going to spend taking care of children. Speaking of children, if you have children, children don't have debt. So all they need is the banking policy. It works the same. You have twofold. The technology is used to eliminate debt. If you don't have debt, the policy is built with the technology into it so you can still lend. For children, what this means is the cost of raising them is solely in that policy. After the first year of contributions, whatever you deposit, you start taking out, or you can start lending from what you've accumulated over that time. To do what? Cover all the extracurriculums. If they play sports, if you want them in art, if you want private lessons, if you want to go on a family vacation, if you want to give them a global education and homeschool them and travel the world, the expenses for your child will come out of their own policy. And because they have no liabilities and they're not in dangerous situations and working and out in the world where they can experience harm, their cost of insurance is super low. So paying into it is super low, which means when any extra that you deposit into their policy banks, it's only going to help them because you're going to lend more out and you're going to spend it on them. Your policy, spend on yourself, however you see fit. Their policy, spend on them. Guess what? The money that you're lending and spending on your policy when you're not paying down debt, you can reinvest. You can take money out of your policy. You can borrow from your policy, earn the money, deposit into your child's policy, borrow from your child's policy, earn the money, and then go pay a bill or go spend something or Buy a property with it. You can buy property, liquidate. These are investments, tax deductible. The whole thing is we want to get you into a zero tax bracket. Keep your money in your pocket, stimulate the economy. Thank the government for giving us this key. The other thing is licensing. I help people get licensed in finance to become insurance agents and brokers. I also am a certified gold broker. I have gold bullion, cubes, even small denominational gold coins. Diversification is key. I'm also part of it's a also tied to banking. It's a global charity where we are giving away and and helping teach financial literacy by giving away scholarships and over $6,500 worth of scholarships and other advantages, and just with debit cards that literally pay you to spend so they can study people's spending habits. The whole thing here is getting paid to spend and using banking tools and knowledge to do so. So I also help people get licensed in finance. We have a 20-hour course, depending on what state you're in. Every state is different. And it's roughly about $69, a 20-hour course, and then pass a state exam to get a license to own a business in a 17.9 of $0.5 trillion industry. This is business ownership, another tax break. You own a business, now you can start writing things off if it's a home-based business. You're going to write some of your expenses, your light, your internet. I just love the fact that everything at my house contributes to my business, my internet, my light bill, my water bill. If I'm hosting and doing meetings, all that can be written off. So it's not about what you make, it's what you keep. And you got to have the knowledge of finance if we're going to navigate the sea of commerce. You got to know what you're doing. Make your money work for you. Work smart, not hard, and treat every dollar like it's a little soldier whose only job is to go out and make more.
Yes, Beth, a quick question though. Talking about your global charity,
Yes.
who are the people, nations that are qualified? Is there a special qualification for in a nation outside of the US or?
I really don't think so. I don't think that Visa really cares about who does it. This company is actually in Canada. It is a private financing company. And that the website actually for that with the study is called Where Does Your Money Go? So it's WDYMGO.com. Where does your money go.com. And you can find more information as well. And so this is new to me. I'm just forming the partnerships, and we have a couple of NDAs, non-disclosure agreements that I'm in the process of signing. And so and it's fairly new for me. But I connect with the founder and owner of the organization, and we have a contract over 7 years to help 98,000 Americans learn financial education and develop better spending habits through working with us and Visa with this, it's called a Relay debit card. So it doesn't even cost anything. They just ask for you to participate in the study, which means that we'll give you a card, and we'll, for me personally, I will sponsor and automatically just deposit $50 into your account just so you can start spending and see how it works. And then what happens? Well, not me personally, but it comes out of my business, Justlove Success sponsors people. And when you get the card, you just load it and spend it as you would any other on whatever you would spend it on. Then Visa will pay you 3% cash back. They also have partnerships with the merchants with who use Visa, and the merchants also provide, free services and products and severe and great discounts and stuff just for purchasing with them. So we give away money, and as people share information, they can earn money just through sharing and helping to get the knowledge out. But yes, if they go to the website, they can learn more. And if they want to connect with the founder, then I can connect you. And even if you want, maybe he'd like to get on your podcast as well, because he has partnerships all over the world. So he would be more apt to speak on that than I would.
Could you put the website in the chat, please?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes.
So do you have
Okay, you can
questions?
continue. It's your show. We are just facilitators.
Okay, well, now from here, if anyone is interested, what we have is there's a couple things we have going on. Tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, we have a live workshop and webinar with Global Financial. And hold on just a moment. We do have a registration link. Let me see. I'm trying to pull it up. Global Renaissance Insurance Marketing. Hold on just a moment. Global Renaissance Insurance Marketing is who I work with and am partnered with in terms of the Banking Like a Bank. It was founded by David Weiner, who is also the author of Banking Like a Bank. And it's been a work in progress for the past 20 years to revolutionize insurance and banking. And so he's the one who spearheaded this and made it all possible. I'm going to share the registration link in the chat as well. So what we do is if for anyone who's interested in learning more about becoming licensed, they can reach out to me directly. Actually, I'll put that in the chat too. My website. Okay, they can go there. I do have a registration form that they would complete, and once they do, I'll call them and we can set up a time to um, introduce them to banking. It's a quick 30-minute call, and then from there, just to let them understand our history, where we came from, how we came to be, what we do, and how and why. And even further, if they want to go take it to the next level, then we would give an intake sheet that would basically ask them to complete it, fill out all of their debts, loans, how much they have in their banking, saving, and whatever their leftover dollars are. And once we see what all their debts are, we look at their numbers real time. We can tell you, guaranteed to the date when your debt would be paid off, if you follow our system and got on board with banking. We also, for those interested in becoming licensed, if you could just put when you complete the form. Well, no, it doesn't matter. I can just call them and find out if they're interested. It's just a matter of getting them enrolled into the licensing course and then getting them a distribution license to sell the technology. The technology is a game changer. The commissions pay out on the sale weekly. So while people are going through the course and getting licensed, we could still be facilitating meetings on their behalf and making sales on their behalf on that technology. And, so it's an earn while you learn type of situation. The license to distribute the technology is just $149. It is definitely encouraged for you to get, it's not required to have a life license to sell insurance, just to sell the technology, just a distribution license. But keep in mind that most people who get the technology also get that insurance policy for the tax haven, the tax protection. So you have an immediate commission from your sale, but we're approved for the policy. You get monthly commissions for 6 years off of this. So, there's money on the table by not having a license in insurance. We have a gentleman on our team who is he generates about $480 million annually from all the businesses he works with combined. He had an insurance license and generated his first million in insurance when he was in his 20s. He's 74 now. He is a commercial real estate broker and a mortgage loan broker and officer. So he is now my business partner and now my mentee. I'm mentoring this man who is a multimillionaire. I'm teaching him now about banking because one of his clients alone has 30 mortgages. When you buy a technology package, it's like $3,999. That handles 3 mortgages. That man has 30 mortgages. That means the commission and the price to handle his workload is going to go up. The commission goes up. That's just one client. That doesn't include everyone else that he knows. So this man, just from his business alone, is going to retire me. If I don't get any other clients just by working with him alone, I'm set. Here's another thing about him. He's the coaching king. You can look him up. Look up the coaching king. He also mentors and coaches online marketing. One thing that our people have, we have ambition. We can want to start businesses, but we don't know how to market. And if you're older, these online web tools are more and more challenging, and you got AI. This man is 74 and teaching me more about the technology. So he's teaching me how to market on a whole different level. He's also has global initiatives that he funds. He's committed to educating us, the same passion that I have. He started his own online university. So everyone who comes under my team, not only do they have the mentoring and the banking from the leaders of the industry, they're getting mentored and taught by a Black man, an African American, who was raised up by the only Black billionaire in Detroit, Michigan. And that's where I'm at. I'm in the D. I'm in Detroit, Michigan. And he was raised up by all this old Black money. He is an exception because most of us were not raised that way or didn't even have access or didn't even know who the Black million or billionaires were. Now I can pick up the phone and on the first ring, he'll answer. And so anyone who comes under our team, my team specifically, has access to him. So we grow together. We learn together. We get an MBA, a degree, a business degree with him just for joining our team. So we can't lose here. So I would just encourage, if you're here, if you're in the US, you got to be in the US and Social Security number nationalized. If you're here, then we could talk about banking. You could go to my website, hit on the landing page, just complete the form, and I'll be in touch with you. We'll start you on building your financial legacy. And that's about it.
Sounds good.
Well, so Beth, tell me something, because I've seen or read stuff about Prime America. Is it a similar system or it's something completely different?
Primerica is right with the 99% of the other insurance companies. They, just in my experience with them, their premiums are higher. The services that they offer are less. They have a lot of agents who are making a lot of money, but when you learn insurance, you learn that the average IUL That's an index universal life insurance policy, lapses within 7 years. Why? Because life happens, inflation happens. There's too much pain that comes with insurance, especially when you can't even afford. We already know Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, so they can't afford to save anything each month. So when you think about, well, I got to get insurance, in our minds, that's just another bill when I'm still trying to figure out, should I pay my power or should I buy some food because we got to eat, right? So there's so much pain involved. And that's what 99% of the insurance companies. This policy, the way it's structured, is to eliminate the pain, to keep money in your pocket so that you lend money to yourself and you lend it just like the banks do. We cut the bank out. Now you're doing it for yourself. So this puts money in our pockets that we can spend. It takes them pain. Aside from the first 12 months, there is pain because you have to build up your capital reserves for your bank. But if you start this today, then the next year, this time next year, you're on the up. Everything you put in, you're going to spend tax free, and you're earning off of everything you do. Every transaction you're making money. And with the IUL, you have living benefits. In an IUL, we can structure it so when you're ready to retire, that cash is going to start paying you out. If you want to be paid every month, you're going to get a nice fat check every month at the end of every year. If you want a big check, you can get it once a year annually. However, you get it every 6 months. You can get it quarterly, you can get it monthly, get your money annually, or you just, whenever you feel like it's, just say, hey, I want to take this money out. That's your retirement, tax free. If you get sick, you have living benefits built into this policy. So if you get sick and your income stops, your policy kicks in and it protects your income. So now it's going to pay you every month just like your job did. If you're so sick and you're chronically, critically ill and can't work, guess what? The death benefit that everybody gets typically when you die, you can cash out on your death benefit while you're still alive if you're chronically, critically, or terminally ill to take care of your bills or all your medical expenses or whatever it is your needs are during that time. Tax-free again. So it's a policy that pays you as you put into it. It protects your life, your lifestyle. It creates a position for you to build a financial legacy in a class 1 tier capital asset that banks trust most. It's an asset that pays very well, protects you against everything, really. So
Yes, very interesting. Yeah, so Flavius,
Yes.
any questions or anything you want to add or say?
No, I'm just here listening, trying to understand what is happening, you know. I mean, this is all new to us. Very,
yes,
very virgin territory.
yeah. It's the thing. It's new for all of us, though. Most Americans don't know this. And then when you look at African Americans, we have been sold historically policies that have absolutely no value. Even right now today, when there's another service I offer, which is a policy review for anyone who has cash value life insurance. When I look at their policies and we break these policies down, the insurance companies are making out like bandits. The average IUL, like I said, it doesn't last 7 years before it lapses because inflation happens. People can't afford to keep up with it. What that means is if they paid all those 7 years into that policy, all those thousands of dollars, they don't get any of it back. The insurance companies are making out like bandits. What this policy does here is because it pays you to use it like a bank, you're going to use it for the rest of your life. If you stop using this, let's say you're about 5, 6 years in, you spend about $700,000 in that 7 years from that policy, and you decide you don't want to use it anymore, all that $700,000 and all that money that's sitting there, you've lost your taxes. I mean, you lost your protection. Now you got to pay taxes on all that money. So it's designed to never lapse. It's designed to pay you while you feed into it. And it's designed to eliminate debt as well as stimulate the economy. So that's it's a critical piece that's missing. We got to get the word out and educate as many people as I can, and just grow.
So the big question is, who bankrolls this?
Who beg? We do. Now, the insurance company that we use is called National Life Group. All right. National Life is the insurance company that we use for their policies. This one specific policy that we have is built for banking, and that's just with us. Now, National Life Group has their own policies, but not ours. So you may have National Life Group agents. Like we just, one of my members in my downline, one of my agents brought in a National Life Group agent onto our team. And he's been selling National Life Group policies for years, but had no clue about banking. So this is a uniquely special product that can only be found with Global Renaissance Insurance Marketing under David Weiner, the founder and responsible for helping to build this policy.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So no other insurance company has something like this?
I did hear of, I'm not sure of the name. I did hear that there is some other company. If I'm not mistaken, they're also using National Life Group. But to have it, they from my understanding, as discussed by Mr. Weiner and the leaderships of Global Renaissance, is they're doing it, but they don't touch what we're doing in terms of our compensation or the benefits or the various fees. And I spoke so much about banking and the insurance that I failed to mention other retirement options that we have. For people who have retirement accounts, people in the US who have worked jobs and paid into 401ks, have left those jobs and that retirement money is still sitting there. Well, that money is vulnerable to the market, meaning that when the market drops, you're going to lose money from those funds. And when you lose money from those funds due to market drops, then guess what? You've taken years off your retirement. Now you got to work hard to start it all over again. Well, we have an index annuity that can help roll those retirement savings over and put their money in a position that it's in an index, which means it's in global markets more than just the S&P 500. So even if the S&P 500 drops, other markets are up, you're still going to earn. So we have the way that it works is, as if the market grows, so does your money. But when the market drops, your money stays put. It's protected against market loss. You can never lose money. Now, if the market is, say it's at 15% today, it drops to 11%, then you're going to earn 11%. If it drops down to 4%, you're going to earn 4%. If it drops down to 0, you're not going to earn anything. If it drops below 0, you're not going to lose anything. You're staying put. So when the market goes back up again, you'll start earning again. So when we talk about retirement, it's unfortunate. I think I said it earlier. The average American can't afford to retire, because here what retirement means is you worked 40 years of your life only to have to stop and get a minimum wage job because you don't have enough money to survive. Not fair. We got to change it. It's time to flip the script.
How do your insurance company make money?
They make money off of the premiums. They make money from us when we pay our premiums, and they're compounding interest. When they get money from different policies. So a term policy, for instance, a term policy is an insurance policy that kind of works like a rental. You got an apartment, whatever, you're going to rent it for maybe a 3-year lease or a 3-year term. Term insurance policies usually go from 10, 15, 20, maybe 30-year term. At the end of the term, for 30 years, you're going to be contributing a certain amount of money every month for 30 years. At the end of 30 years, the term is gone. You get nothing from it. There's no equity. There's no cash value. You lived. So you just paid all that money for 30 years and you survived it. Now you got to get another rental policy. If you get another policy, you're 30 years older, which means your cost of insurance is going to be higher. The older you get, the
Yeah.
higher your insurance costs are going to get. Higher, 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 because your life expectancy is decreasing. And because, as we age, we start running into health problems. And therefore, our insurability, how much it's going to cost for those insurance companies to take care of us and pay us out, that's going to be pretty high. So a lot of their money they got from a bunch of term policies that never paid out. They get it from the cost of insurance. They get it from the compounding markets. They're earning interest because this money is put in global markets on the stock market to trade.
Okay.
Okay. Yes. So that's how they make their money.
So
And then,
how long is your company going now? Not your
well,
insurance company, but I mean your personal company.
Justlove Success I actually started probably about 12 years ago.
Okay.
And it was set up to be an e-commerce system to offer things that are really important. Health, anything that I did that was health related. And my personal philosophy is if I'm going to be spending money on it and it's doing something to enhance my life, I'm going to share it with people because I want for other people to do well and feel well too. But if I'm doing that, then I'm marketing. And if I'm marketing this company and I'm selling their products for them, I should be making money off of it. So my philosophy said, if I do it and if I use it and if I market and sell it, I have to get paid. So health, it's in the top 10 industries in the world. So why not own it? I also offered at the time travel. Travel is another in the top 10 industries of the world. Why not own it? And then money. I started off with gold. Back at the time, there was a digital crypto, but then that ended up falling off, and I stopped doing that. But now I'm right back on with gold. I haven't even had the chance to add that to my website because I've been so busy on this part of the mission. Um, so and then it died down a little. Again, life happened. It wasn't until 3 years ago when I got my insurance license that I really started rebuilding it back up again. And still, I haven't even started on the health aspects or the products and things that I serve. The primary focus right now is getting this knowledge of finance into the hands of people. If they don't understand money, if they're not making money from their spending, I don't want them buying my stuff no way. I don't want to hurt people and have them broke. I want them in a position where they can afford to be healthy, where they can afford to grow money, where they can afford to travel. If you are, then own travel. You might as well own it. So even that is picking up. And in fact,
How do you mean? What do you mean own travel?
meaning you can own your own travel agency.
Okay.
Like, yeah, owning travel, getting certified, clear, that can actually be done on the nonprofit side because there's so much money. When I was on the charitable giving, the Where Does Your Money Go, WYMDGO .com website, travel is part of that, getting CLIA certified. Especially like you don't, they changed the industry in travel so that you won't be able to earn from booking flights anymore. So it's all now hotels and resorts and cruises, especially, which requires a CLIA certification. So you can do that through wheredoesyourmoneygo.com. So about 14, 15 years in the making and building, restructuring, rebranding.
Mhm. Okay, so any more questions, Flavius? Or so Beth, would you just like to just summarize for us before we close out then?
Absolutely. We perish for the lack of knowledge of finance. We have the knowledge right here at our fingertips. Visit JustLoveSuccess.com. Get some time with me to learn more. I would encourage you, especially if you're US based, attend the live webinar tonight. I did post a link for the registration. And I think on the question, it says who invited you. You can just say Beth. And then we go from there. You'll learn a lot more than what I shared, and you'll see it in detail and really see what the numbers actually look like on real clients. It is mind blowing. But yeah, that's about it. Learn to bank like a bank. Get into a zero tax bracket.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
You're welcome. Thank
Back
you.
to you, Courtney.
Yeah. Okay, thank you again, Beth, for being with us on the Real Stuff podcast. And that was a real lesson in finances. And I hope to, keep in touch with you to get some more, because I think that's what is needed in our community. And you're right about all of that, Our people are suffering because of lack of financial knowledge.
Yes, let's get it.
Yeah, so if we can get that together. And we surely will invite you again.
Thank you.
To come if you have new information or if you want to speak to us about
absolutely.
anything.
Thank you.
Yeah,
so much to talk about right now, isn't it?
Yeah, so we are available. So it's bye from now from the Real Stuff podcast.
You lead us to full. You belong far away away. Ajuguala lebo buseru. Lida mua, lida sungfula. Lida mua, lida sungfula.
Well, unfortunately, this is it. Till next time. Bless.
All you gotta do is just speak. One word is enough, and I'm no longer so rough. I forget what I was trying to say. I no longer do what I was gonna do, but you're no good for me. That's why me know set me if it could flee. Me I fi take away me say. Me I fi take away me say. Me I fi hide like a thief in the night. Me I fi get out of sight. Me I fi take away myself. I fi take away myself. I have to utilize I will.